Okay, guys, so I'm back and we'll start our discussion with the other stages of the incident response cycle. And let's start now with the eradication stage. Okay, I hope everyone is here. Yeah, so let me quickly resume my discussion. So, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so let me just quickly see what eradication stage means. So, what we do is that after containing the incident, okay, after containing the incident, and what we see that, okay, we have totally contained the incident, we are not seeing any kind of suspicious traffic. What we do is that we start our like excessive log analysis, like kind of a very detailed analysis, to be more exact, a detailed log analysis, and figure out how to kind of like remove the threats from the affected system. Okay, from the affected system. So thing is that let's say for an example, there was a malware in the system. There was a malware in the system that somehow got executed in the Windows laptop, okay, of an employee. Okay. And let's say we contain that that incident by isolating that incident, that laptop from the internet traffic, and we are not seeing, let's say, any other lateral movement of that malware to any other host. Okay, so for the eradication part, can you guys let me know like what step you would take to remove the threats from that affected system? What would be the best thing over here on how to kind of remove the threat from that affected system which was having the malware?
So we can scan using the antivirus and
Okay.
we can remove that malware.
Okay. Any other thing? Any other guessing? This is correct. Actually, scanning the thing and kind of figuring out. Any other thing? What would kind of normally happen in a real scenario? Any other guys? Any other answer? Okay. So thing is that there is a bit of catch. Okay. So scanning is definitely one of the thing, but it will depend upon the scenario. Okay, the scenario is like, now I will kind of tell you the real scenario in what happens in real. So what would normally happen in real is that if this laptop, what we will first try to do is uh, we will actually re-image the laptop. Okay, we will install a fresh window operating system on this host rather than kind of removing the malware and figuring out, okay, everything is correct. We don't take that risk when possible. Okay, we don't take that risk. We don't take the risk. Okay, and what we do is that we will install a fresh window operating system on that laptop going forward. Okay, so that we are pretty sure that, let's say, the malware came in, and maybe it could have happened that the malware created, let's say, 10 files in the system, and antivirus, after scanning, only highlighted 5 files. It happens most of the time, right? So what we do is that, to be on a safe side, we actually image the system. We actually load a new fresh operating system on the window operating system. And when you do that, maybe the user would kind of raise a concern that, okay, that person, his or her has a lot of files in that laptop. So what we do is that in that case, we take a little bit risk, and what we say is that, okay, backup your necessary file that already know that you are aware of. Backup those files to a external hard drive. Okay, and once that's done, then we proceed with reimaging. Okay, so this would normally happen in a real scenario. The other scenario you will encounter is that maybe you can't reimage the laptop. Okay, or let's say there's a server running and you can't reimage the server, because if you do a reimaging of the server, like installing a new fresh operating system, it will take a lot of time, like 4 hours, let's say, and the company might lose a lot of business in that time. Okay, so in that case, you need to kind of take certain decisions. Let's say you install an EDR agent, for example, or an antivirus on that system, and kind of like, let's say the better is the EDR agent, and then you kind of what you say is that you start that EDR agent with the highest possible alerting mechanism or detection. Okay. So what this will do is that you will be kind of encountering. I have also kind of personally encountered situation where there were like servers which are actually compromised by the attacker, but we can't turn on that server. So what we did in that case, we asked the service team, the team to kind of install the EDR agent on that on that tool on that server, and we what we did is that we set it that EDR agent with the highest possible detection that it can do, and then we left that out. We took that risk. Okay. And by risk I mean, when I say we took the risk, I like to say that SOC team never takes the risk. It's what we do is that we tell all this information to the leadership, and then the leadership take that risk. And mostly the team, let's say the team of the leadership, not our team, but the team who is managing that server take that risk. We never take the risk on our name. Okay. So this is how normally thing is that we kind of try to eradicate the host, let's say to remove the malware from the system. So these are two scenarios that you will be kind of encountering, and it will depend on like experience and exposure, what decision that you need to kind of take out. Okay. So normally thing is that in eradication, thing is that we try to kind of like remove the threat from the affected system, and this can involve a lot of things. Like let's say if it was in malware case, so we would kind of identify the malware, we would kind of delete the malware. Okay, delete the malware. Or let's say if it is not just the malware, let's say there was an unauthorized access to an account. We figure out what's the root cause, how the attacker came in, or let's say how the attacker were able to kind of get the unauthorized access to the account. And then what we also do is that we understand the root cause. We also reset the credentials of those accounts. Okay. So that the attacker can't use the same credentials again. So that is one thing. And the other thing can also be like, let's say there was a vulnerability. There was a vulnerability in the software. So what we do is that we patch that software immediately as soon as possible. We try to patch the software. And if that patching takes time, we try to kind of do some kind of blocking or detection on the network part in the meantime. But we figure out our main objective in the eradication stage is to patch the system so that the threat actor can't again exploit that vulnerability and come inside the system. Okay. So that's all things that we do in the eradication stage. Okay. I hope this is kind of clear. Okay. And kind of a little bit interesting to know. And to now, what we will do is that we will now understand the next stages, which is recovery and lesson learned. Okay. So what is recovery and what is lesson learned? So give me 1 second. So what is in the recovery? So in the recovery, thing is that once the threat has been removed, and the thing is that mostly the SOC guys, what I've seen is that they get little bit tired up and maybe like loosen up when they reach to the recovery stage of any incident, because this is mostly the thing is that this is mostly the headache of the team who had faced the incident. It's not our headache. Okay. But for understanding the state of response, this is one thing that we try to kind of check out, okay, by when they will kind of recover.